Is there no sound? Okay. No sound. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Krishna Nityadas Jiva Taha Buli Gelo Edoshe Mayata Golai Bandilo. The living entity is bound around the neck by the chain of Maya, because he has forgotten that he is eternally a servant of Krishna. Tate Krishna Bhaje Kore Gurur Sevan Maya Jal Jute Pai Krishna Charan. If the conditioned soul engages in the service of the Lord and simultaneously carries out the orders of his spiritual master and serves him, he can get out of the clutches of Maya and become eligible for shelter at Krishna's lotus feet. Charivarna Shami Jadi Krishna Nahi Bhaje Swakarma Kodite Se Rorave Podimaje. The followers of the Varnashram institution accept the regulative principles of the four social orders, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, and four spiritual orders, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. However, if one carries out the regulative principles of these orders but does not render transcendental service to Krishna, he falls into a hellish condition of material life. So this whole system, this whole Varnashram system is supposed to lead one to the platform of devotion. So if one follows it without following it through to that natural conclusion, then it all becomes useless. So we hear these expressions, Daiva Varnashram and Asura Varnashram. Daiva Varnashram means God-centered Varnashram. The social system where it has the culture of devotion at the center. And then Asura Varnashram, where it is based on a materialistic understanding. So it all becomes something external, superficial, material, if it doesn't have that connection of the Lord's service and the practice of devotion. Mukha Bahuru Padebhya Purushashyai Shramai Saha Chatvaro Ja Girevarna Guner Vipradaya Pritak. From the month of Brahma, from the mouth of Brahma, the Brahminical order has come into existence. Similarly, from his arms the Kshatriyas have come, from his waist the Vaishyas have come, and from his legs the Shudras have come. These four orders and their spiritual counterparts, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas, combine to make human society complete. Ya esham purusham sakshad atma prabhavam ishvaram na bhajantyavajananti stanad brashta patantyada. If one simply maintains an official position in the four varnas and ashrams, but does not worship the Supreme Lord Vishnu, he falls down from his puffed up position into a hellish condition. Jnani jivan mukta dasha paino kori mane vastuta buddhi shuddhanahe Krishna bhakti vine. There are many philosophical speculators, jnanis, belonging to the Mayavad school, who consider themselves liberated and call themselves Narayan. But their intelligence is not purified unless they engage in Krishna's devotional service. Ye nyeva vindaksha vimukta maninas tvayashta bhavara vishuddha buddhayo aruya krichena param param tata patantyudo najita yushmad angraja. O lotus-eyed one, those who think they are liberated in this life, but do not render devotional service to you, must be of impure intelligence. Although they accept severe austerities and penances and rise to the spiritual position, to impersonal Brahman realization, they fall down again because they neglect to worship your lotus feet. Krishna Soya Sammaya Hoy Andakar, Jaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Radhikar. Krishna is compared to sunshine, and Maya is compared to darkness. Wherever there is sunshine, there cannot be darkness. As soon as one takes to Krishna consciousness, the darkness of illusion, the influence of the material energy, will immediately vanish. Very nice verse, which we heard Gurudev quote. Krishna Surya Sam, Maya Hoy Andakar. Krishna is like a bright sun, and Maya is like dense darkness, blindness. And where there is Krishna, in the same way that where there is sunlight, there cannot be darkness. So where there is Krishna, there is no darkness. There is no Maya. So when the sun of Krishna consciousness arises within our heart, then all the shadows, all the darkness that has been playing there since time immemorial, it will all have to go. And you know, it's also indicating that you don't have to do something separate to make the darkness go away. You don't have to have an alternative strategy. It's not that you're practicing Krishna. It's not that you're inviting Krishna into your heart, that you're practicing devotion, and you also have to get rid of the darkness, because this is the approach of the ascending paths, like jnana and yoga. They're striving to conquer over the material energy, where there's more focus on the negative side in that sense. But in the practice of devotion, there is more focus on the cultivation of the positive. And as the positive naturally, gradually increases, then automatically the negative is decreasing. So when the sun of Krishna arises in the heart, everything that is non-Krishna, it must vanish, never to return again. And Gurudev also pointed out that once that light appears, it won't matter anymore how long it was in darkness. A few times I heard him mention that. Like if a room has been dark for 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years, 10 million years, 1,000,000,000 years, if you enter that room and you light a match or you turn on a light, then it's illuminated, and it won't matter how long it was in darkness. And yesterday we were hearing these terms, nitya mukta and nitya bada. Two kinds of souls. Chaitanya Charitamrita told us there are two kinds of souls: eternally liberated and eternally bound. So when you hear that, it can be very discouraging. Like, hang on a minute, eternally, I'm bound right now, and I'm being told that I'm eternally bound. If I fall into the category of a conditioned soul, then I'm described as being eternally so. Does that mean there's no hope? No, it is not like that. No. But once that transformation has taken place, then you are counted among the eternally liberated, because it doesn't matter what was before. You join that eternal flow of divine service. You join the real current of eternity. Then it won't matter what you were before, what you did before. And it's an important point. I mean, there are many things that come up, that are many points that are raised by this. That we can also understand that we will view our fellow jiva souls with some broadness of vision. No one is denied this prospect. Gurudev, he commented that once he phrased it in this way, why will we respect, he was discussing the Trinada P verse, why will we respect everyone? Because everyone has the property of eternal service within their heart. And he meant everyone, not just those who are consciously trying to practice that, follow that ideal, but anyone in the world, every Atma has that property within their heart. It may be awakened or it may be dormant, but everyone has it. And so in that sense, we will have some honor for everyone. Of course, there's gradation, and respect will be expressed in different ways according to the degree of awakenment. But on some level, there will be some degree of respect for all souls because of that potential which they hold within their hearts. And if somebody begins to awaken in that plane, to whatever small degree, then we will not go to analyze what they were doing yesterday, or what they were doing a year ago, or 10 years ago, or whatever it may be. What is the need? Now they are entering the current of eternity. What they did yesterday doesn't matter anymore. So that is an important, practical point that we can draw from this discussion here. And so Gurudev would say some extraordinary things, like that time in Russia when he said, "You are all liberated." Anyone who has a connection with my Guru Maharaj is already liberated. And he went on to explain, that you have this connection and you must realize it. Today or tomorrow you must get it. It's just a matter of some time. Shata Pacha Veda Nyaya, he also explained this, this logic of a needle going through 100 leaves at once. In one way you can say it is instant. In another way you will say, well, there's some time, some milliseconds from going as the needle moves from leaf to leaf. So in the same way, in our present position, having connection with the Sadguru, in one way we can say, oh, we are already there. But another way we will say, well, there will be some time in between. There will be some struggle in between. Maybe some lifetimes in between. But within the Ananta Kal, unlimited time, as Gurudev said, 10 lifetimes, 100 lifetimes, it is nothing. It is like the blink of an eye, or less. Vilajamana ya yasya statum iksha patemuya vimohita vikatante mamaham iti durdiya. The external illusory energy of Krishna, known as Maya, is always ashamed to stand in front of Krishna, just as darkness is ashamed to remain before the sunshine. However, that Maya bewilders unfortunate people who have no intelligence. Thus they simply boast that this material world is there and that they are its enjoyers. Krishna toma hoya jane bole kabhar, Maya bandha hoite Krishna tare kore par. One is immediately freed from the clutches of Maya If he seriously and sincerely says, "My dear Lord Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so many long years in the material world, today I am surrendering unto you. I am your sincere and serious servant. Please engage me in your service." One is immediately freed from the clutches of Maya if he seriously and sincerely says, "My dear Lord Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so many long years in the material world, today I am surrendering unto you. I am your sincere and serious servant. Please engage me in your service." And now this is a famous verse from Ramayana. It is a promise made by Lord Ramachandra. Sakrudeva prapano yastavasmiti chayachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadamyatad vratam mama. It is my vow that if one only once seriously surrenders unto me, saying, "My dear Lord, from this day I am yours," and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on. It is my vow that if one only once seriously surrenders unto me, saying, "My dear Lord, from this day I am yours," and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on. This is a very, how can we say, it's a very great expression. Srila Sridhar Maharaj has included this in Prapana Jivanamrita, and it is also referenced in Sharanagati. It is a very hopeful, very encouraging expression of the Lord for those who are on the path of surrender. We cannot describe ourselves as surrendered souls, not at all. But we can say we are on the path of surrender. We are trying to follow the path of surrender. We can say that much. And so this is the Lord's supremely merciful reassurance to all of those who are on the path of surrender. And we can mention here, what is meant by, he's saying fearlessness. Abhayam, he's speaking of fearlessness. Abhayam sarvada tasmai dadamyatad vratam. This is my vow that whoever tells me that they are mine, that they are surrendered unto me, then I will supply fearlessness to them forever. And so what does that mean? Does that mean fearless in the conventional sense of being free from the fear of living in this uncertain world? No, it is more than that. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he points this out in his commentary on Sharanagati by Bhakti Thakur, that this expression, it means freedom from illusion. This is the real fear, to come under the influence of illusion, to not have a clear estimation of things, to not have a clear cognizance of the true nature of things. This is truly fearful. This is the real fear. And so this is the Lord's promise. To not be overcome by illusion. Bhukti mukti siddhi kami subudhi jadi hoye kara bhakti yoge tobe krishnara bhajai. Due to bad association, the living entity desires material happiness, liberation, or merging into the impersonal aspect of the Lord. or he engages in mystic yoga for material power. If such a person actually becomes intelligent, he takes to Krishna consciousness by engaging himself in intense devotional service to Lord Sri Krishna. Akama sarvakamo va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Whether one desires everything or nothing, or whether he desires to merge into the existence of the Lord, he is intelligent only if he worships Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by rendering transcendental loving service. Anyakami jadi kode Krishna rabajan namagiteha Krishna tade dena swacharam. If those who desire material enjoyment or merging into the existence of the absolute truth engage in the Lord's transcendental loving service, they will immediately attain shelter at Krishna's lotus feet, although they did not ask for it. Krishna is therefore very merciful. If someone is serving Krishna, saying with other desires, Krishna will not fulfill those other desires, but he will give them the service of his lotus feet. Krishna kohe amabhaje mage vishoy sukh amrita chadi vishamage bodhomorka. If Krishna says, if one engages in my transcendental loving service, but at the same time wants the opulence of material enjoyment, he is very, very foolish. Indeed, he is just like a person who gives up ambrosia to drink poison. Ami vigyaye morke vishoy kene diba sacharanamrita diya vishoy bolaibo. Since I am very intelligent, why should I give this fool material prosperity? Instead, I shall induce him to take the nectar of the shelter of my lotus feet and make him forget illusory material enjoyment. So this is, we can understand Krishna's expression here is referring to a higher category of devotee, a devotee who has some real inclination for exclusive devotion, but is also struggling with some material desires. Because in another place, Krishna says that it's stated that when persons approach him for devotion, then he will try to distract them. We can say this is like the first level. Because Krishna is very cautious to hand out devotion. It is not a cheap thing. And someone who has true devotion, Krishna becomes bound by that person. So he is not so eager to hand. Of course, there's a big, like Srila Sridhar Maharaj made that comment, we can put a sign outside our temples, welcome, no entrance. Welcome, no entrance. So, there's the big billboard saying, come and surrender to Krishna. But then when you actually come to do that, Krishna won't make it so easy. No. He will test your sincerity. So it's mentioned, Krishna jadi chute bhakta bhukti mukti diya. It's also in Chaitanya Charitamrita, but I don't remember where, maybe later. That if Krishna wants to evade somebody, evade a devotee, he will give them bhukti and mukti. He will distract them with enjoyment or with liberation. But he won't give them pure bhakti. He won't give them the highest bhakti. So there's this grand invitation, but if you go to take it up, it'll be, well... And of course, one may very well remain within the practice, but distracted by superficial aspects, not really connecting with the substantial current. So that is one level. But then here, for those who Krishna has decided he's going to accept, then even if they have material desires, if they express desires for other things, Krishna will not give it to them. So this is a more intimate relationship here. Just like, and we can take the example of a relationship in this world, of a caretaker, someone who's in the position of a caretaker, a parent or a doctor or a teacher. They'll decide what level of responsibility they're ready to take for their individual charges, let's say. So someone who's under their care, in their charge, they won't apply the same strategy to everybody. They will make individual decisions for each case, So there may be some who they feel, I don't want to take too much. I'll give them some general advice and send them away. I don't feel it will be worth my while to take on so much responsibility, to give them so much detailed advice and personal care. So the one level, if we use that example of a doctor, then their door is open to everybody, right? So everyone's welcome. But then they will decide on a patient-by-patient basis who they're going to give more attention to and who they'll just give the general prescription to. So some of their patients, the vast majority, we could say, they're just giving them the general advice, the general prescription, and sending them on their way. But if there's some patient who they feel some particular care for, some particular concern for, particularly sympathetic towards, then they'll give them, they may be more strict with them, they may give them more detailed advice. So in the same way, Krishna is dealing with everyone approaching him in different ways, according to their level of sincerity and genuine necessity. Since I am very intelligent, why should I give this fool material prosperity? Instead, I shall induce him to take the nectar of the shelter of my lotus feet and make him forget illusory material enjoyments. Satyam dishatyartitam artito nrinam naivartado yat punar artita yata swayam vidate bhajatam anichatam icha pidanam nijapada palavam. Whenever Krishna is requested to fulfill one's desire, he undoubtedly does so, but he does not award anything which, after being enjoyed, will cause one to petition him again and again to fulfill further desires. When one has other desires but engages in the Lord's service, Krishna forcibly gives one shelter at his lotus feet, where one will forget all other desires. Kamalagi Krishna bhaje pai Krishna rase kamachari dasa hoite hoya bilashe. When someone engages in Lord Krishna's devotional service for the satisfaction of the senses, and instead acquires a taste for serving Krishna, he gives up his material desires and willingly offers himself as an eternal servant of Krishna. So one may approach Krishna with some other desire, but getting some taste there in connection with Krishna, they will give up that previous desire. one may approach the Lord for many different reasons, which may not be in the line of pure devotion. But when they get some touch, how merciful is the Lord? When they get some touch of the real thing, they will give up that previous taste. And now we have this prime example of this, Dhruva Maharaj. Stanabhilashi tapasi is such a beautiful verse. Stanabhilashi tapasi stitoham trampraptavam deva muninja guyam kacham vichinvan api divyaratnam swamin kritartosmi vadam nayache. Stanabhilashi tapasi stitoham trampraptavam deva muninja guyam Kacham vichinvan api divyaratnam samin kritartosmi vadam nayache. O my Lord, because I was seeking an opulent material position, I was performing severe types of penance and austerity. Now I have gotten you, who are very difficult for the great demigods, saintly persons, and kings to attain. I was searching after a piece of glass, but instead I have found a most valuable jewel. Therefore I am so satisfied that I do not wish to ask any benediction from you. Are you familiar with the history of Dhruva Maharaj? He was the prince. He was a young prince, and his mother was the senior queen. I believe she was the senior queen. But anyhow, his stepmother, his mother's co-wife, was favored by the king, and she unfortunately was a bit of a nasty lady, and she had the king so besotted with her that she was a little manipulative, and she induced him to neglect Dhruva and to give more attention to her and to her sons. And so there was one occasion when Dhruva wanted to climb onto his father's lap, and his stepmother, stopped him, because she didn't want the king to give him attention. So she told the king also, you cannot take him on your lap, something like that. And so his own father, wouldn't take him on his lap because of the influence of his Dhruva's stepmother. And naturally, Dhruva was completely heartbroken, and he was asking his mother for advice, like, how can I deal with this? And she said, you should pray to Lord Narayan. And so he took this very seriously. He was like 6 years old or something. And so he decided to go to the forest and perform austerities and pray to Lord Narayan, so that he could have some substantial position. Feeling that he'd been so neglected by his father, he wanted to have some type of, position where he would be, respected. And so he went to the forest. He performed great austerities, and to the extent that it was causing changes because of the subtle, the subtle effects, due to the subtle effects and the subtle energy that was being created by his intense austerity. It started to create disturbance within the universe, and I think there was a great deal of heat that was being created, and the devas were disturbed, and so they requested Lord Narayan, please do something about this. And so first he sent Narada. Narada gave him initiation, and then Narayan himself went to see him and told him, I can give you whatever you want. And then this was Dhruva Maharaj's beautiful response. when like he's directly witnessing the beauty of the Lord, and suddenly everything that he'd worked so hard for, it appeared utterly insignificant. Now he was faced with the Lord's beauty and charm, and he felt, oh, this is all that I want. Who cares for a kingdom? Who cares for any kind of position within this world? To be able to see your beauty, to have attraction to your lotus feet. What else could one desire? What else is there worth aspiring for? And so he says this, makes this very beautiful expression. And Gurudev liked this verse. I was searching after a piece of glass. I was searching after a piece of broken glass, and I have got a jewel. I've got a diamond. I've been given a diamond. Then I have no attraction anymore for pieces of broken glass. Very, very beautiful expression. And similarly, in this world, we are chasing after so many pieces of broken glass. But if we could have a touch of reality, the beautiful, then whatever taste we have for these things will all vanish. It will all appear to be unattractive, undesirable. O my Lord, because I was seeking an opulent material position, I was performing severe types of penance and austerity. Now I have gotten you, who are very difficult for the great demigods, saintly persons, and kings to attain. I was searching after a piece of glass, but instead I have found a most valuable jewel. Therefore I am so satisfied that I do not wish to ask any benediction from you. In that Damodarashtakam that we sing during Kartik by Satyavrata Muni, there's that beautiful expression, what other boon could I ask for other than to be able to continue seeing your beautiful your beautiful lotus face. Millions and millions, Vadam Deva Moksham. Millions and millions of other benedictions are of no use to me. This is my only prayer, that I may continue having this darshan of this beautiful lotus face of Sri Krishna, the Lord of Vrindavan. Okay, we will stop there today. Very beautiful verses here. This verse of Ramachandra, it is one of the most noble expressions. Maybe it is the most noble expression that has ever been uttered, where he's making this promise. Because this expression is made in the context of Ramachandra's approach to Lanka, when Vibhishan comes to take shelter of Ramachandra, and Vibhishan is the brother of Ravan, so naturally Ramachandra's associates are a little, hesitant. A little hesitant to let the brother of their enemy number one into the camp. Naturally, they have some suspicion. And so Ramachandra, he's arrived, he's on the outskirts, Vibhishan's on the outskirts of the camp, on the other side of the ocean from Lanka. Ramachandra's on the shore, parked on the shore, getting ready to launch his attack. to rescue Sita. And so the news is brought to Ramachandra, oh, Vibhishan's here, he's asking for your shelter, what do we do? And Ramachandra consults with his trusted associates, Lakshman, Hanuman, Sugriva, and Hanuman, he's been to Lanka already, and he met Vibhishan, so he knows he's a devotee. But the others, they haven't met him, and so of course they're suspicious, and they're advising him, better you don't take him in. Someone says, oh, maybe you should just put him in, you should just lock him up. And Ramachandra, he hears all of them, and then he says, well, I'll tell you my decision. And he expresses this verse there at that time. And he says, even if he is coming with some bad intention, I have to accept him. If someone's, and then he says here, this Sakradeva Papano Yastava Smriti Chayachate, this is my vow. This is my vrata, this is my solemn vow, that if someone comes to me and asks for shelter, I have to give it to them. To that extent, that even if, as he says, maybe he is coming with bad intentions. Maybe he's coming to deceive me. But still, it is my duty to accept him. If I don't accept him, then I'm leaving the path of Dharma. It is an extraordinarily noble statement. He may do as he likes, but I have to do my duty. And my duty is to give shelter. My duty here is to give shelter to someone who's asking for shelter. So whether or not he's sincere about it, that's not my business. Whether or not he's going to try to destroy me, that's not my business. My business is to give shelter, to give protection. Is very, very, how can we say, very encouraging, very great, many things. Such is our Lord. Jai Shri Chaitanya Chaitanya Ki Jai, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. Would you like to sing?
Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama.
Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama.
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana.
Giri Hari Gopinata Madana Mohana.
Giri Hari Gopinata Madana Mohana.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra.
Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha.
Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha.
Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha.
Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha.
Hey Joy Gachai Gauri Charana Vandana.
Jai Goswami Gauri Charana Vandana.
Jaha Hoite Vignana Sapishta Purana.
Java Hoite Vignana Shavishta Purana.
Hey Joy Gosai
Jai Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Nirmala Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rukmini Varga Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Shri Shri Guru Rangadhara Ki Jai Aparshan Srimad Mahaprabhu Ki Jai all the assembled devotees Ki Jai all the world devotees Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Jai Gaur
Hari Hari Bol.